Well, the Steam Summer Sale is over, so you may be asking, what did I buy? Now, I think this is actually the first summer sale or any Steam sale I participated in. Before this, I only bought like a total of 2-3 games: World of War, Garry's Mod, and CSGO. The rest of the games in my library were free to play, and there's only like a total of 3 of them. So what, did I go all out and buy every game in the store? No, obviously not. That would be pretty much impossible with a total of like 13,000 games? Huh. I honestly thought there would have been more. But out of those 13,000 games, I got 4. Wow, this is really making me feel poor now. I ended up getting Borderlands 2 Game of the Year Edition for about £7, reduced from 35, GTA 5 for about £13, reduced from 40, even though after this sale, it has went down to 25 as its permanent price now, so I guess you save money either way after the sale. I also got the orange box, which contains a few games such as Half-Life 2 and Portal. It was reduced from £15 down to £2, and Sword with Sauce for about £2, reduced from nothing. Wow, I saved a lot of money there. Now you're probably wondering, what in the fuck is Sword with Sauce? I get it, it's a weird name, but it's actually really fun. I guess it shows you why you should never judge a book by its cover. Right now the game is in alpha, and it's going to stay that way. Sadly, the creator of this game on March 21st of this year came out and said he will no longer be supporting the game, and it's coming out of early access because he wants to move on to bigger and better things. But I would still recommend picking up the game for a bit of fun. The game is really enjoyable. There's no progression system, and for someone like me who usually needs an incentive to keep playing the game, this game is so enjoyable to the point where I don't care about progression. Just hopping around the map killing guys is just too much fun, and I often found myself not wanting to stop playing. It's such a simple game, and there's even a map editor so you can create your own maps and download other people's maps that they have created, which gives for a load of replayability. I also bought GTA 5 and Borderlands 2. Neither of these games I really plan to play now, as I need to upgrade my processor. I have a 1060 which can handle these games no problem, but my processor is an AMD A8 7650K, which is kind of weak in comparison. I get a shit ton of bottlenecking, so these games don't run the smoothest. Don't get me wrong, they're definitely still playable, but considering the main reason I bought GTA on Steam in the first place was I wanted to experience the game in a higher frame rate compared to console, and as well I guess I also kind of want to play through the game's story again, since I never finished it the first time around. And when it comes to Borderlands 2, this is a game I wanted to play for quite some time. I think it was Near Cinema that initially actually got me interested in Borderlands. I played a bit of the game on Xbox, and there was actually a free weekend for the game on Steam, and I tried it out, and you know what, it ran pretty well. At least at first. After I got into a more open area, the frames dropped quite a bit. Now I didn't have a frame rate counter or anything running in the background, but from the way it felt, I would say it was definitely dropping below 30 FPS, probably around 20-25, which isn't the worst, but not my cup of tea. But you know what I hate even more is frame rate fluctuating. I absolutely hate this. Now I don't suffer from motion sickness at all, which I'm very thankful for, but it just makes the whole experience so much more unenjoyable. Now I am planning to get a new processor when I get the money, but it probably didn't help too much that I've spent about £60 on games over the span of about 3 days. Now not all that's from the Steam sale. A few days ago I tweeted out that I got the Binding of Isaac for my Switch, which was already about £36, but I don't regret it at all. I fucking love that game. I've been having to try to turn myself away from the game just to go make videos or do anything else for that matter. I'm constantly like, just one more run, one more, just one more. Then about 30 runs later, I'm like, one more, just one more, that's it, just one more. It's insanely addictive. I might make a whole separate video on the game, but I generally don't like making reviews as my opinion changes over time, and it's just not the type of content I'm looking for on my channel. Maybe a month down the line if I still like it and I have enough experience with the game, but not right now. Now I want to talk a bit about the orange box. The reason I decided to pick up this game was, one, it's a good deal for the content that you get, but come on, every game was on sale. I could have picked up Just Cause 2 or 3 for literally about the same price. But the simple answer is, I wanted to play Half-Life 2. Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't actually played the first Half-Life. I don't know how important that is to the story. I'm hoping not too much. I'm looking at the game right now and it says it's about £7 when I could have got the game for literally under £1 during the sale. So that's kind of annoying. If it is really important to the Half-Life story, why didn't they just include it in the orange box? They could have included Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, Portal 1, possibly even throw Portal 2 in there, even if you have to charge more for it. I don't really care. Why didn't you include Half-Life 1? Why did you include the second game? If this really is crucial to the story, which I'm hoping that it's not, If it is, why did you only put the second one in there? Also, I'm looking at the game's graphics. I didn't realize how old this game was. It was released on November 8th, 1998. This game is older than I am, but regardless, I'm still looking forward to playing Half-Life 2 so I can maybe see what the hype's all about. I've never really been a story kind of guy. I've never played games for story, and I'm not even too sure if I'd enjoy The Last of Us. I actually have already played through a bit of the game. I remember playing it quite a while ago on my uncle's Xbox, and I remember being quite intrigued. The other reason I bought it was because Portal came with it, and as I mentioned before, I played Half-Life 2 on my uncle's Xbox. Well, he had the orange box, and Portal of course came with it too, and I love that game.
For failure. Any contact with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark on your official testing record, followed by death.
I didn't get too far into it, but I loved it so much. I'm not the biggest fan of puzzle games, but there's something about Portal that makes it stand out from the crowd. It's seriously so fun just fucking around with the portals and making these crazy loops. I've played the game a bit on PC so far and I love it. I just hate the kind of long loading times when going into an elevator every time you finish the level. After a while, it can get kind of annoying. And solving the puzzles is actually kind of fun. As I said, I've never really liked puzzle games, but I still kind of like solving puzzles. Like Mavs was something I actually kind of enjoyed. Okay, now I'm not saying I loved Mavs, far from it actually. I always hated the idea of doing Mavs, but when I got into it, I got really invested and found it really hard to pull away. You see, I generally don't like the idea of most things, even writing the script for example, but when I start, I find it really hard to pull away. I don't particularly think that's a good thing, but I guess I'll just have to learn to live with it.